Welcome back to MMA Unhinged, and joining us today is Gino Ghalehpardez. Gino will be taking on Jordan Tecson at Unified 60 on January 24th. So, Gino, welcome, and thanks for taking the time, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
No problem, no problem. How are you, and how are you feeling?
Feel good, man. Everything's good, feeling good. Just gearing up this last week and change and getting ready to rock. So let's go.
Yeah, and besides that, how's the family? How's the year been?
I mean, we're 13 days into the year, so it's been good. Family's been good. Little one's growing fast, so it's all good, man. It's very grateful for everyone to be healthy and happy, and yeah, starting off the year right. So it's hope building right into the full year. So it's good.
I assume this is your first one. What's been the difference, like training and balancing work life and family life now that you're having a family?
Um, Not a lot. Okay, so not a lot on principle. Um, but time manage I had to, push emphasize on time management.
Hmm.
And that's not to say that, my wife doesn't do, a lot with the babies. He's still so young that like he barely like he's just starting now to like see me, identify me, smile when he sees me, laugh. Like
Yeah.
we're just kind of getting to that stage now. Um but mostly he's hanging on her, right? That being said, the responsibilities have I used to think I had no free time. Turns out I must have had a ton of free time because now I feel like it's completely changed and I have none. So I think priority on time management, training, time management, like other activities that I would have liked to do. I'm not a big TV guy, you know, um, but like things like there is no side activities, right? Like it's work, take care of him, and and go train, and that's these are all jobs, but I'm grateful for them all. So, yeah, in terms of just time management, I think is probably the biggest thing. Um, but it all works out. It all ends up working out, which is wonderful.
Well, and besides that, I mean, it seems like it's been quite the year for you. We haven't seen you since the cage since April 13th of last
Hmm.
year. And I know you've been struggling with some bad luck with people pulling out of fights. That being said, was there anything specific that you did maybe in camp with all that time off? Was there anything specific that you worked on?
Yeah. I hired a nutritionist because I had no clue what I was doing, and I was really struggling and to make weight. And it was also so it was that, and it was also really making that mental note that that's literally was the last pillar. And also, that was the last pillar. And also being like, listen, if you're really you're gonna do this, you got to do that. You got to be all in. So,
Hmm.
yeah, like I said, that's the last pillar, and I'm all in, man. The mentality change. So that's was a big theme for me that carried through is being all in, and how you do anything is how you do everything. So, just maximizing on the time, maximizing on efficiency, effort, training hard while also training smart, and that includes outside of the cage just as much as inside, as much in the practice room as outside the practice room, daily practices, every day, little wins every day. So really emphasizing on those things and just really making that decision that I'm all in, putting all the chips down on myself, and I'm really going to get after it. And I'm excited to show that.
Yeah, and the fact that now that you have a nutritionist, do you feel that maybe with all the hard weight cuts you've had in the past, do you feel like now with the nutritionist and being able to cut the weight properly, you're excited to kind of show the new Gino and not struggling with those weight cuts?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was ready to show it last time, and I felt really good. It was the easiest cut I ever had, and I expect this to be exactly the same. And yeah, man, I've been dying to get in there. It was just to really show how good I can be. You know what I mean? And that's really really important to me. And I want to show that I did spend the time. I believe in a subset of like having personal accountability. Like you can make a mistake, but it's like kind of maybe what you do a little bit after the fact. And I was like, hey, I haven't been really, I've been kind of neglecting this, and I'm really big on self reflection more than anything else. And it was understanding that, like, hey, man, like you got to be honest with yourself, and that was probably a big thing. And I was just like, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I'll be honest, I had no idea what I was doing. It was just piss and vinegar and just being stubborn, and that was a big thing. And understanding that, and getting after it, and doing those things and being accountable and really sitting down, and I saw this thing from Quentin Tarantino on JRE, and he called it he would do every once in a while. It's called the Quentin Detest Fest. And I kind of did that with myself. And he would just hate on himself and be like, okay, I need to work on this, this, this. Why is this not working? Why is these things not going my way? And I kind of had to do the same thing. And I do that constantly, right? And it's not like out of hatred for myself. It's just that constant strive of like self
Yeah.
improvement. And I think that this was probably on the top of that list. And I really got into it, and I'm really happy with the results so far.
Well, that's excellent, man. Now let's jump into this bout that you got on the 24th. So you come from a really good camp, and I know you train with really good people. So do you
Hmm.
know who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Yeah, I'm gonna have Maestro Josh Hill, and who's kind of head coach, and then my other head coach is Jesse Goff from 519 Martial Arts. He's been with me, since since I was 17, you know what I mean? So he's been with me forever. He's my grappling coach, my all-around MMA coach, my life coach. So I'm gonna probably have those two. I don't know if I'll have a third yet. And usually when I do, it is someone a little bit sometimes it's been just someone who's been kind of like like a friend or something like that, who they do bring a certain different energy, like a positive energy, and it's just fun to kind of have them around. I don't know what I'm going to do for this one. We might just go the two, and go and be very straightforward business. Um, and if so, that's great. I like it. Either the third, I'm still kind of, it has to be somewhere where my heart feels good. And I've been
Mhm.
thinking about it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We still got a week to go, and got to see who's available. And if not, all good either way.
And I interviewed Jordan before this, and he had a lot of praise for you, and knowing that like he knew who you were, and knowing that you've been in this game for a while, being a veteran. Did you know much about Jordan Tecson? I mean, considering that he's been flinging around that organization for a while now.
I Yeah, I think Jordan's great, man. I think he's a very, very tough fighter, and I know he comes from a good camp too. Um, so yeah, he competed against one of my teammates, and he did very, very well. And yeah, I have no bad things to say. This is why I'm excited for this fight, because I know he's tough, and I know where he comes from, and I know he's well prepared, and I know he's gonna come after you with everything he's got. I've watched his fights, of course, and he's fun to watch too. So that's cool. So I'm really excited for this one.
Well, it's even better now that you get to fight him, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, it's cool. It's all cool.
Given you and his strengths, and it's very obvious. What do you feel are the keys to victory in a bout against a guy like this?
I think sticking to our game plan. Sticking to our game plan is probably the number one thing for sure.
And what, like in this fight, where do you feel you would give him the a hard, or in this fight, where do you feel like you're going to give him lots of difficulty?
I don't know if I have necessarily an answer to that without giving away anything.
No, I understand. I
For my
understand.
game plan. Um, I guess again, all I can honestly say is by being me, and by doing the things that I do well, and honestly trying to minimize what he does well. So it's trying to use my intelligence, and the skill set that I have. I'm sorry, I can't really expand anymore on
No,
that
that's
one.
understandable.
And I'm trying to
Understandable.
navigate it in a good way. And I'm sorry, that's the best I can give you.
No worries. How would you like to finish this fight?
Winning, no matter what, finding a way. You know what I mean? Putting on a really good performance. And that's it.
Given everything that's happened in the last year, do you what would it mean to you just to be able to get the win, and just after everything that you've gone through, and with the nutritionist, coming up and showing up as the best Gino as you can be?
I mean, it would mean the world, to be honest. Just getting back on track. Listen, I say this before every fight and after every fight, man. I know I'm at a point in my life that I got to get going, and there's no more time. Like, time is the most valuable commodity. It's free, but it's invaluable, and I'm trying to make the most of it. So to come in there and get that win and feel like, hey, everything went well, and then just building off of that momentum, it would mean a lot. It would mean a lot for me. It would mean a lot to show that I have improved. I didn't not only about dealing with nutritionists, but working on my skill set.
Hmm.
I didn't veer away. Like I said, it wasn't just the nutrition. I didn't really get a whole lot into it with you, just because, to be honest, I didn't even think about it right now. But there was like a lot of technical stuff that I went back and evaluated. Right. Again, it was at Gino Ghalehpardez Fest that I really I tend to dive into, and I took care, and it would mean that I'm back on track, and I'm back, and I'm and that I know that this year is going to be a good year, and yeah, and just prepared to take it, and really, like I said, all in, go all in.
It's no secret with Unified. We've seen a lot of fighters that get rolling in that organization, then they have other opportunities like Contender Series. We've seen that a lot in other bigger organizations. Has that been something? I understand you're focused on your opponent now, but respectively. But
Hmm.
is that something that you look on the horizon, knowing when you signed with this promotion?
I'll be honest. I was just more focused on getting an opportunity. And for
Hmm.
Unified to give me an opportunity, I was grateful for it. These things are always going to be in the back of your head. I think if you it's okay. You need to be I'm a big proponent of, you need to look what's directly in front of you, but also have a little bit of a long-term plan without solely focusing on the long-term plan.
Hmm.
Because if you start looking too far, you're not seeing what's in front of you. So yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I said I don't think about those things. Why are we doing this otherwise, right?
Yeah.
I always say this. I don't want to be an also ran. I don't want to just hang around. I love this sport more than anything, and I would never want to do a disservice to both myself, to my family, to my coaches, and to the sport, and not try to look at something beyond. That being said, none of that matters if I don't get the job done on January 24th. And that's what I'm looking to do. That's the priority right now. At the present, no. I'm just looking at this one. Maybe that's something, you think about. I'm a big resolutions guy, so I do write down like goals I have for the year and so forth. And I'm usually pretty good at following through, and this is one of them. So
Excellent. And you're fighting at the end of January. So we look at the rest of 2025. What's your intentions? What are your plans? Do you plans outside of fighting? And how many fights are you looking at for 2025?
ideally, I'd love to fight 4 times, just 'cause I only got to fight once last year, and that really sucked, and it wasn't for a lack of trying. Obviously, I had 1 fight fall out, 1 fight I was supposed to fight earlier, um, like, the opponent I did face, we were supposed to fight prior to that, I got hurt, and just so I kinda had a little bit of a string of bad luck, but in that regard, but, that's okay. I learned a lot through that. But yeah, this year I'd love to ideally fight 4 times, especially fighting so early in January. Definitely allots the opportunity to do that now that I feel like more shows are coming. Excuse me, now that they're bringing amateurs back and doing a lot more pro am shows. So it would be nice to, hopefully there's more opportunities that open up, get to compete more. So yeah, to fight more on a personal level. Yeah, I mean, I have some personal goals, like, with my career outside of this and stuff like that, but, I don't know if necessarily I love my job, so don't take that the wrong way. I'm very fortunate, I really do enjoy everything that I do, but I don't know if there's, like, necessarily one component. Like, I do have some things I wanna do, like start my own little side business and do these things, and I'm kind of, like, well into the foundation of doing those things, but I don't know if I have, like, a set timeline for anything, you know what I mean? It'll all
No,
happen. I have it all written down, so when it happens, it happens, but it's just, it's by the end of the year, it's one of those, like, the puzzle will just come together by the end of the year.
absolutely, absolutely. And the floor is yours here, Gino. Anyone you like to do a shout out to, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to shout out, all my training partners, all my coaches, all the gyms I train at, I Vision Quest, obviously, Adrenaline, Niagara Top Team, Aegis, we go for sparring, Bora Jiu-Jitsu. Steel Town Boxing. I'm all, all over the. It takes a village, and anytime that any of the coaches and training partners, are willing to, um, share some advice. I appreciate that, and I'm very grateful. I have one sponsor, same as usual, Exo Cookie Co. Hugs and kisses in cookie form, the best sugar cookies you will find anywhere this side of Hamilton, Binbrook, and yeah, I'm looking forward to having some of those after. And yeah, and I'm just excited. I'm really, really excited for this one. I'm excited to show what I got. I always feel like I'm always like looked at as like an underdog, and it's exciting to show how good I am because I'm going to and I'm going to get that win. I'm going to show how good I am.
Well, excellent, Gino. It's a pleasure having you on as always, and appreciate you again taking the time to come on here. And just good luck on January 24th.
Hey, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.